What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Daily Refinement. This is a really special episode because Beat the Bush visited me. Do you want to
Hello.
introduce yourself and maybe let people know where you're from or
I
what you
am
do?
from the Bay Area. My channel is called Beatthebush. I make mainly finance videos and also a bunch of other wacky videos. Um, well, I stopped working for about a year and a half now, and I've been doing YouTube full time, semi-retired, and that's where I am right now. I'm visiting this guy, doing his eBay stuff today, which is really fun.
Yeah, this should be really interesting because we can get an outsider's perspective. He is not a reseller, and we can
Oh,
get an idea of what somebody not in this industry thinks of this whole shenanigan. So I want to make sure you guys can hear us in the chat. So let us know if you can hear us, and then we'll get straight into the questions I have for him. What's up? What's up, Brian? So the first thing I want to go over is today actually we went thrifting. So I
two
want to
different
two
stores.
different stores, and I want to hear your opinion. What was it like out there in the wild looking for things?
Well, well, when I see you do look through all that stuff, like to me, when I look at all of it, I don't see anything special. I'm like, oh my gosh, if I buy this stuff, I'm gonna have a lot of work to try and even turn a profit. So when I saw you like, when you're going through a whole bunch of different things and then you just kind of like pass by things really quickly. You don't even have to like, you know, examine it too much, but you just like go through, 100 items, are just sitting on the shelves and then you just kind of walk by and go, "Oh, this is good. Oh, that's good." And I'm like, oh, it takes experience to do that.
That's
So
true.
that's my takeaway from that. To really do any kind of once you have the experience, I feel like yeah, then you can do it successfully. But for me, I'm not too sure if I can do something like that. You said I'm not really a reseller, but I have sold on a very small scale. I sell my own stuff on eBay.
That's
I
true.
sell very limited amount of repeat products, but that's it. Not on the scale that you did on your stuff.
And well, you wouldn't consider yourself a reseller by occupation,
Absolutely not, and never have.
right?
um, maybe somewhat of a liquidator because I've came upon a bunch of stuff that's just given to me, like loads and loads of stuff, and I'm like, how do I get rid of this? That's how I get rid of it through eBay.
Yeah, you're
So
also
anyway,
you're also exploring maybe a reduction in stuff,
yes.
and
So that's another like a goodie right there, right?
mhm,
Like I was telling you a while ago, if you're like a maximalist, right?
right,
And then you suddenly become essentialist, minimalist, or something. If you make the switch, then then the more money that you're gonna make, because if you used to be a maximalist, you have a lot of stuff that's really high valued, and then all of a sudden you don't need any of it. You don't even want it. You've never touched it. You never really use it. Then all of a sudden, oh, a couple thousand. I don't know how many thousands of dollars it can be once you make that switch, but you can only do it one time, right?
that's
Like,
right. That's once it's gone, it's
but
gone.
but at least once you do it, if you're maybe like in credit card debt or something, you can make that switch, and then all of a sudden, oh, you're like so much freer without the debt.
That's true. And we've been talking a lot about this, like, not minimalism per se, but just reducing your lifestyle so that it's just things that you commonly use, that you enjoy using, and it frees up your mind. We're not sure how much real estate it really frees up.
It's debatable.
It's debatable whether it
We're talking
actually,
about like if you had a big storage area, because a lot of people have um they rent out a storage area. It was $100 a month, $200 a month, and then it's one small, maybe half car garage size of things. You know how if you add all that up, maybe there's a couple of thousand pieces of item, but is it weighing on your mind all that much? Like, is it each additional piece weigh that much? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
is it linear where the more stuff that you have, the more it weighs? It's not, right? You can have twice the amount and it weighs a little bit more.
Yeah, and I think like me moving into this place, it's only 400 square feet and it's two people. Like everything is intentional and smaller, and I'm a reseller, so basically anything I didn't use, I flipped. And I wanted to ask you about that because you wouldn't consider yourself a reseller by trade, but you have resold before. How are you pricing items that you are reducing?
We were talking about that before.
Yeah.
Like I I normally just go on eBay and I look at what's sold and I look at what um how high quality of the thing that I have is, and I just go by that. I go, oh, this is around how much it's sold. If I want to get rid of it fast, I just go, okay, roughly towards the low end, it's gonna be that much. Maybe if I'm more patient, I'll try to sell it for the average price or something, depending on what it's valued at. But basically, I don't sell it based on what I feel it's worth. I look at how much people are paying, and then I go, this is how much I want it for. That's that's how I do it.
And maybe this seems obvious, but apparently not. I get a lot of messages from people who are pricing items what they want to get for the item, and what you want to get for the item doesn't actually matter. It's just what does the market yield. If an item is selling for $50, you can't ask 90. I know that sounds obvious, but some people when I review their stores, they're asking more than the market will yield, and that's one of the reasons why your stuff is selling so slowly. If you guys are in the chat right now, let us know if if you use the eBay solds, then say you use the eBay solds. If you guys use a different tool to look at solds, let us know because there may be some other tools like TerraPeak is free with a store subscription, and yeah. So
Nice.
what's up, guys? And if you are enjoying this content and you want to ask any questions, throw them in the chat. You can also smash the like button and that'll help other people find this channel. But let's get into the next part of it, which was shipping. So you actually had an opportunity today to help me pack and ship some items. What do you think?
I actually recorded a lot of that. It was a time lapse. It was I don't know. We were talking about listing versus shipping, and you're saying shipping, like actually packing the stuff, was quite fun.
Yeah.
For me, it was also fun. I'm like, oh, go find that whatever item and then put it in the bag. Although it was a little hot in
Yes.
the storage shed, um, but overall, it was, I enjoy it, but only to a certain extent. For I don't want to do it for hours and hours, but a short duration of it, it's actually quite fun. Just put on the label, put it in the baggie. Oops, kind of
No, no
shaking
worries.
things.
And then yeah, that's something that we talked about. And I was trying to find like a happy medium for reselling as far as keeping it fun, but also trying to make a living. And I remember a veteran reseller in Florida telling me that everything under 40 items a day is a very relaxing reselling lifestyle. If you try to do more than 40, it ends up being more of a corporation, more of a company, more of a churning reselling machine. It's less fun than just 40 and under with maybe you and a helper, maybe a husband and a wife team. Those are common ways. But I personally like shipping. But again, I don't. When I was shipping over 100 packages a day in December, I actually did not like that. That was too many. But I would say 20 to 40 items a day is a nice, fun kind of thing to do. And I actually call I call my eBay storage my man cave. I like it going there, even though it's more of an activity than just a hangout. No, the basically just 40 listing and 40 shipping. So a store that processes 40 a day is more peaceful.
Yeah, that
Uh,
ties in a little bit. I don't know how much you talk about early retirement. Do you?
no, no,
No,
I
you
don't.
don't. You don't.
No,
Oh, um, sometimes when you're doing eBay stuff, you also want to do it when it's fun for you. So if you do it so much where it becomes a job, then it's not then it's not fun.
that's right. That's right.
Right? Like then it becomes a job. Sometimes you want to do it where it's a lifestyle change, and it's for the better, that you actually do enjoy it. I guess I always like to talk about when, like, in retirement, you're actually doing things that you actually enjoy. So be it, if you're doing a bunch of resale stuff, right? But if you really really like it, it's kind of like you're in retirement, right? Like for
Yeah.
you probably feel like a bit retired too.
Yeah, no,
Uh,
I feel semi-retired because I like reselling and I like challenges. So I'm gonna be starting a new challenge that's basically 100 items a week, the best 100 items I can find hunting in the wild each week. And I really enjoy looking for things. It doesn't even feel like work. In the morning, I have a call with, I consider my reselling family. Then I go out and look for things to sell. And I call it a job because it's structured in a sense that I like, there are steps required. I can't do things out of order. I have to go find the item, price it, photograph it, list it, ship it. That's why I call it a job, but it's not necessarily a job, but there are steps that you need to do to sell it. It's not it's different than maybe even YouTube as a hobby. There are certain steps you need to do and it sort of is kind of like a job, kind of. Um
yeah, for YouTube, you're always wondering. It depends on how you conduct your YouTube. Uh, some people, they could just be pushing really really hard and doing things just to get views, just to produce more.
right.
But you can see two people with the same, like if they produce the same amount of videos, one person could be completely doing everything that they really like, and another person could completely hate what they're doing and make the same amount of content, they get the same view. So it's like the perspective is completely different here. Same applies for eBay. You can maybe sell a whole bunch of stuff that you're not interested in, right? You're only interested in getting it and then flipping it. Maybe if you tie in with something that interests you, shoes for you,
Hmm.
then I guess when it passes through your hands, you take a look at it and you have fun looking at it.
For sure. Jay Jordan, thank you for the super chat. Yeah, as far as I like shoes, I say in my videos I like shoes more than people. So I enjoy looking up shoes. I know where the origin of shoes is. I know different brands. I know different sizes. Today there was a very cool pair of A Life shoes from a store in Manhattan, but I didn't pick it up because it was size 8 and there's less people who are size 8 than size 10. So I'm just
Mm.
trying to increase my odds. And I want to show you guys that you don't need a ton of capital to do this. Like
See, I wouldn't know that.
yeah, in all
This
reality, I tell people that you probably need about 10 to 15K to run. Go ahead.
Hold on, your size 8, size 10 thing. This is not common
We
knowledge.
can't go by this. Go
Uh,
back. We're gonna reverse back to shoe size.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh
Go.
no, shoe size. Yeah, they're the average male size in the U.S. is 10 and a half.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah,
That's another factor if you're reselling shoes. I didn't know that. Yeah.
yeah. So I
Yeah.
want to touch base on Hound. Thank you, Kimberly, for bringing that up. That's a cool software. I know Alicia. She's one of the ladies that works there. Hound is very cool. And I'm not. Um, I don't like Hound, and this is just my honest opinion because it's $3 a listing, and you guys should be able to list on the other platforms for less money. I want you to save your money and use it to buy more inventory, not to list it on 3 platforms. Meaning, let's say you sell a pair of shoes for $40, you can sell it on eBay alone. You don't need to list it on other platforms. And if you have to pay $3, that's a valuable profit that you could be using for something else. And I just listed that macro Skillshare class that's free. You guys can go check it out and you can list using macros. And that will help you automate some of the process without spending any money. I want you guys to keep your money so that you can buy more stuff. Um, Marrakech is asking, if I sold my Apple shoes from Burlingame, I did. I actually sold those shoes for 2,500 bucks. I was actually haven't
Oh, that's crazy.
I haven't talked about it other than really with Beat the Bush. I haven't told anybody because I actually was waiting for the money to clear because I
Oh,
didn't believe it. Right? I was like, that's kind of a large sale. That's actually not my biggest flip, but my biggest flip since I started this YouTube channel. So
what do
20,
they look like? You have a picture?
yeah, I'll show you a picture of them after. Brittany, what's up? Thank you for the super chat. Big baller, 50 bucks. So Brittany is awesome. Thank you so much. But yeah, we flipped the Apple shoes for 2,500 bucks, but that is kind of low because they could have been worth a little bit more, but I've already had them for 2 years. A lot of people asked me like that I should just wait for 10 grand, but I've already been waiting for 2 years. So like I figure I can use that money and flip it into something else. And uh
Sometimes I feel like sometimes
sometimes.
when I have a whole bunch of stuff, um, sometimes it's better to get rid of it, to move the product, because as soon as you get rid of it, even if you're not making the most, it's out of your hands. Now you have, that money to buy something new, get more stock. Yeah.
Yeah, so Brittany on the call, she is big into personal finance. We're hanging out the personal finance king right now. And he asked me what I do with the money. And I told him I blew it on a new iPad Pro. Just kidding. I didn't spend the money, it just went into savings
Uh,
because we're now doing or I'm shooting for this fire movement thing, early retirement. And there's a few things I comment on that I think is really cool, which is um the point of it is so that you can do what you want to do. And I've already kind of done that. If I was independently retired, meaning I didn't have to work anymore, I would still do this. I like reselling stuff. Um, and auto. Oh, go ahead.
you Since I'm about to say
Yeah, go
something,
ahead.
but my whole there's a requirement. You imagine if you I like to ask a lot of people this: if you won the lottery, right? Let's say it's not crazy stupid amount, maybe like 5 million, enough to retire comfortably on. Then will you still be reselling?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Right, like,
If you guys had $5 million, would you still resell? Like you don't have to resell anymore. You're now independently wealthy, meaning as long as you don't have a coke habit or some terrible destructive habit, you should be able to survive.
the interest off of that, it will pay for your expenses for life, and you absolutely don't have to do whatever you're doing right now. So this really comes to makes you think, if whatever you say that you enjoy doing right now, will you really do it? If you really, really would do it when the day comes, if you ever won the lottery, because it's hard to say. If I just ask you this, right? It's you might tend to just still say that, oh yeah, I still enjoy um reselling or whatever. But if you really, really would, then that you really do enjoy it, and you could say that you're already kind of retired.
Mhm.
It's kind of like a mind mind trick or something.
That's true. So Brittany in the chat says that she would just do nothing and stare at walls. I know you, and you would not be doing that.
Stay at walls.
Stare at walls.
Stare at
Well,
walls.
she would not do that all day. She would definitely keep doing stuff because she's hustling out there. She's got a 4,000 square foot warehouse. She's killing it, and not one to just sit around in retirement. And she's doing well. Don't kid yourself, Britt. Um, Otto is asking how I keep track of garage sales purchases. I actually write them a receipt. I know that sounds crazy, but to me, it's easy because I write a receipt for how much it is, what it is, and I give them a copy. And that way, I just have something for my CPA. Like that you should be doing that if you are a business. You want as many write offs as possible. And you want, if the IRS really looks into you, they're going to try to see what you're like. If you withdrew $100 Saturday morning before you go garage selling and that matches your receipt, that's the only thing they can really do to verify a cash deposit. So I'm not a CPA, but I'm just letting you know what my CPA does with me. That's my experience.
What did you mean by that? You buy the item from them,
Right.
and you write a receipt and you give it to
I
them.
give them a copy of it.
You give them a copy, and then you also keep the same thing for yourself.
Yeah.
And then you also, what else do you write? Do you write like the location,
Yep. I write
what the item is,
the
the
date and
date?
what the item is.
Okay.
So I actually number my receipts. I know you do not have to do this. In fact, it's a common myth that the IRS needs all your receipts. They don't need all your receipts. You just need that if they audit you. That's why it's good to keep them for 7, 10 years. But like you should have a process where you scan that in because we're trying to treat this like a business. I want people who are watching my channel to earn a significant chunk of money reselling. So that's why I want you to keep track of these numbers. Because I will, one more thing that's really, really, really important is that I really like knowing my numbers more than how big my store is. My little baby store that has 24 items in it that I know I've made $400 profit in, that gives me a great amount of joy. But when I was running liquidation and I didn't know exactly how much money I was making, it was very stressful. So because of just how many moving parts there are. people honestly would resell. Some are saying no, enjoy for a hobby. So yeah, I think the perfect hobby store is under 40 items a day. More than that, and it's kind of more of a enterprise.
List 40 items
Yeah,
or sell 40
both.
items.
List and selling 40 items is like the max.
I
I
don't know
think.
how you do it. I think at any one time I only get like 100 items. I'm not
Mhm,
a reseller though, but
mhm.
this is just my own personal stuff.
And it might be like if you were a rock climber, maybe 4 times a week ascending a certain difficulty is your goal, because you people like to do things that they're good at. So if you are good at reselling, it would make sense that after you retire, you would still do it.
I would say every single time someone orders something when it's paid for and then I can see it, it gives you a great feeling. It's like, oh yeah, something got purchased and then you go and pack it up and ship it.
Hmm.
I guess you do it in big batches. For me, like as it comes in, I pack them up.
Yep. So AG is asking, would I recommend drop shipping on eBay? I don't recommend drop shipping on eBay because it's easy to get suspended. And I don't recommend you start with drop shipping because it's complicated. You need to have a good relationship with your supplier. Now, that being said, maybe add some in after you sell stuff around the house, build up some capital, go for it. But if you're going to drop ship, I recommend the sniper model where you just pick a couple. Don't do bulk drop shipping like my friend Jack Pittman. You guys follow Jack. He no longer drop ships because he was suspended because he had two verified rights owner complaints, Vero complaints, and that's totally out of his control. He just accidentally sold some shampoo or something that the brand didn't allow that shampoo to be sold online, lost his account, and he was doing like 90,000 a month but only making 2 or 3,000 profit. So like it's drop shipping is
Ouch.
very very intense, and all the automation, and he had 100,000 listings. That's the bulk method. I recommend the tiny method where you find an electric toothbrush that's 90 and it's selling for 90 and you buy it for 60 and make 10. That's like a more reasonable drop shipping model if you just pick a few and understand versus doing it. I don't recommend you do that as something you do forever, or as a business model. Although that being said, I know people who do it and make good money. It's just I prefer physical products myself. Quality over quantity. Yeah, I mean, usually that's the case, but usually people who say quality over quantity don't make any money because that just is justification to have a small store. So like a medium-sized store of middle of the road brands. Let me give you guys an example. I would consider Nike a middle of the road brand, Adidas, Reebok. That's kind of in the middle of the road. Patagonia, Filson, much higher. Actually, Patagonia is maybe one level above middle. Filson's really hot. Everything you sell, Filson sells like crazy. The people who only have that in their store usually have such small stores, they're not really making any money. Do I have any tricks on navigating all my eBay accounts? Yeah, I have 3 different browsers with 3 different emails, and that's how I browse the different stores. So, and I use 3 different emails, and then I have all the sale emails go to one email. So when I'm printing labels, I can just go through one email and print all the labels. That's
So
how I do it.
so the browser doesn't get confused if you just have three different tabs
Uh,
or
3 different browser windows with logged into different emails because I'm using Chrome. I'm logging into each individual one with a different email.
so they're all Chrome.
They're all Chrome, but they're
Okay.
different windows. Yep. But they're logged into different email addresses. That's how I keep track.
Mm-hmm.
So that way, because if you use the same login, then you can't log into 2 different accounts. It would be logged into the same eBay account. Um, what about through my phone? I actually don't have the eBay app on my phone, really. I have it, but I don't really check it. So I do 100% of my e-commerce from a computer, and most people I know that do it professionally use a computer. If you're only using your phone, you're missing out on a lot of powerful tools that the eBay site has. Um, let's see. It's so hard. You learn to do it from Amazon to eBay, not worth it. You never know when the product will sell and sold out. Yeah, it's very dangerous to drop ship from Amazon to eBay and eBay to Amazon. It's actually against Amazon terms of use to drop ship. Can't do it. You can make your own store, which is a great thing. You can create a Shopify store and put a bunch of products in it. And then when people buy it, it fulfills from Amazon. That's okay. But you can't do eBay from Amazon. That's against Amazon rules. Also, people will do like Amazon to Amazon. They wait for a good Amazon deal, buy it on Amazon with their Prime membership, resend it back in. You're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to buy it non-Prime if you're going to resell it Prime. So there's some complications there, but for most of you, the best source will be online. In California, people like, yes, when Beat the Bush and I go out and find stuff, it's very wealthy and affluent here. You may not find, we found a pair of shoes today that retails for $400. That may not happen every time you're thrifting in Mississippi, right? But there's other things like a lot of traffic. There's a much higher cost of living here. Um,
You
there's a
found quite a good number of stuff there.
I would say that the Bay
Also,
Area, there's very few
just
resellers compared to other
just
places.
what do we did you estimate profit? 4 items, right? It was
Yeah,
you estimated like $60
yeah,
profit or
we
something.
estimated $60 to $70 profit on 4 items. So
That's pretty good.
from the first store, and then the second store, we found one item that's the comps are around 60 to 70, and we paid $8.99 for the item. So that being said, it's difficult. We spent 15 minutes in each store. The first store I found four. The second store I found one item. So it takes a lot of sifting to really find that nugget. People think that every item is valuable in California. That's not true. 99% not valuable. See, in Mississippi, well, yeah, Mississippi is less affluent than California.
FootJoy golf shoes.
They
What
do.
are those?
I just have a pair in the car.
Oh, some
FootJoy,
brand,
it's a
FootJoy
brand.
brand.
Yep, they sell super well.
So you recommend to go to an affluent area to go to their thrift stores?
Yes, I
You
always
just
recommend going to an affluent areas for garage sales, right? And
so like Palo Alto.
Palo Alto out here. If you want to drop by Zuck's neighborhood, it's probably very well off.
They don't, they have all these new goods. They're like, I don't want any of it.
Yep. But from my
Wow,
experience,
how
if
pretty.
wealthy people usually don't waste money. So you don't
You think it goes opposite
you
then?
don't
So
need
you don't find
you, no
good stuff?
you find less stuff but better.
Less stuff, but better
So
stuff.
they have
Wow.
less trash. Their garage sales are much smaller. They'll have 40 items, but then all 40 are good. So you better get there early because
Mm,
they're usually also like if you go to Palo Alto, where I'm sure the average home is 3 million bucks, you're not they're not reselling the garage sale for money. They're doing it for space or for something. They're not reselling for that extra 200 bucks. It's not going to do something for them. So those are the best people to basically email beforehand when you see on Craigslist, like, what if I just stop by and buy all of it and you can get your weekend back because I'm sure you have better things to do than a garage sale tomorrow morning. And you may get lucky because twice I have. I purchased the whole garage sale before they even opened.
the whole garage.
So when I showed up, I was like, "Hey,
Did you even see what they're listing? Did they take pictures of
she told me I have
most of it?
so the lady that I bought most recently, she told me kind of an idea of what she had. I offered 80 bucks because one of the items I saw was worth 80, or she told me about was worth 80.
Mm-hmm.
And when I showed up, her husband was like, just open the trunk, my wife will load it up. So like they were just trying to get rid of stuff to get ready
Uh-huh.
so for the weekend. And
Uh-huh.
they're like, you just saved us a bunch of time and it's hot outside. So you gotta trade unequal things. I'm providing them a service by taking all their stuff that they were gonna take to Goodwill anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You're cutting out the middleman of the thrift store when you go to a garage sale. You can keep that. You can get that because they're getting it for free.
Then they're on time and early and on time and do everything for them, right?
Hmm. Oh, Wayne's saying thank you for your videos. He's learned a lot from you.
You're welcome. I don't see it. I see it.
Yep. Yeah, I like the Millionaire Fastlane. I also like the Millionaire Mind. These are like the cheesiest names for books, but I'm sure it helps them sell a lot of copies. But there's some great content in a lot of that stuff. We're both, I think we both have an Audible affiliate. You can click on that in the description, and you can get that book and keep it for free, and it helps out our channels. Let's see. Anyone in need of an eBay lister? You should email me your information. I'll try to find somebody for you. Chris@dailyrefinement.com. I'll post it up, and maybe somebody will utilize you for their services because people are always looking for listing help because it's the least desirable thing to do. Also, if you were to work for a larger eBay store, you can make a really good income if you're good at your job, which is describing, because people don't like to do that.
Hmm. What's it entails? I'm new to this, so if you're talking about a lister, this is a online thing, so you're not gonna physically see the things.
Right. You would
So
upload the photos to Dropbox.
oh, and then they see the whole bunch of things and they list them
They
for
list it
you
for you.
with the nice descriptions and things. And
And what would make you more valuable is if you know how to research pricing. So you let the person know, like, don't even worry about the pricing. I'll figure out exactly what the price it at.
and then you
Uh,
show them you know what you're doing
and if you know what
and
you're doing, and the way to get in is to offer a free trial. Say like, hey, let me do 5 listings for you, and you'll see how good I am. That's probably the best way to get clientele. But I know plenty of people who are making a grand or 2 grand a week just helping other people, and they don't have any stress, no inventory. Yeah, essentially a virtual assistant, but here in the States, which helps because if you're trying to sell specific clothing, people that are um, familiar with US clothing might know the difference between a t shirt and a polo, but someone in Pakistan may not. Like I was using a graphic designer in Pakistan. He didn't understand the clothing I was selling at all, but he understood like how to edit photos and that kind of stuff.
we did talk about a while ago how like when we're doing the whole process, um so like packing it up is fun, but then listing is not.
Right. Listing is not
So
fun.
so it does seem like if that's like if you want to outsource part of the reselling work, that sounds like the first thing that would go. Hmm.
That's a great point. JT Merchandise is saying wealthy areas sometimes they buy cheap stuff. I agree with that. Like if you go to a country club and you walk through the locker room, you're not going to see Yeezys and like really expensive Jordans. You're going to see the Costco $20 special, and they're paying 50 grand for a membership at the golf course because they're using their money for something different.
Hmm.
You will see expensive dress shoes though. I think maybe that's more of an investment.
That's so interesting to just kind of see like the kind of things that you would see at the thrift store
Yeah,
depending on the neighborhood.
yeah, that's true. You love shipping and shopping and hate everything in between. That makes sense. Nobody likes listing. Everyone loves sourcing.
Listing,
Yeah, I mean that's the treasure hunt.
list,
Um,
listing. A lot that listing's a lot of typing.
yeah. You like the idea
Hmm.
of going beyond private label, beyond becoming the manufacturer. Um, Beat
That's
the Bush
hard.
actually mentioned something like that earlier when I asked if he's ever thought about making his own product. He mentioned that it's no longer just a one man show, really. Trying to bring an item to market is insanely difficult.
Well, that was in the context of me being an electrical engineer before doing YouTube. Um,
Hmm.
we were talking about me designing a product, and well, that would be like your own private label. But these days, making your own electronic product, it's incredibly difficult unless it's a very very simple design. People forget, aside from the electronics inside, you also have the industrial design, the mechanics and things that goes around the box, and not to mention the advertising, right? The marketing and all that. So it would be a lot of stuff to do just for one simple product.
So, Tom,
Mm,
here's another thought. Oh, if you guys are still watching, please smash that like button. It's going to help people find the channel. But as you guys know, I funded a Kickstarter like maybe 3 years ago, and it was only 8 grand, and it took like so much effort to try to raise 8 grand, and it cost 7,500 to launch the book I was writing. So like
oh my.
most Kickstarters, don't are not making the founder rich. It's very hard to get a product to launch. People are launching an iPhone case, and the tooling and design is already like 10, 12 grand.
Hey,
They need to sell hundreds of units.
you ever see? Sometimes I see Kickstarter programs, and I looked at the product, and it looks very similar to something I've seen before. Like it's almost as if like the product is produced already, but then they're like faking that it is a Kickstarter. Have
That
you come
that's a
into contact
that's a
with that?
great scam. I've
Like
never heard of
yeah,
that.
well, that's just something I feel I look at those Kickstarter pages and I'm like, this product, it's been done before,
Wow.
right? And they still get a lot of people, supporting it
Wow,
and things. So
that is incredibly
just
scammy.
I
Yeah,
okay, just
but
my observation. I don't know how.
I've
how
also seen a lot of Kickstarter projects not make it to market. So that also could be fake. Maybe somebody's making a fake prototype with no intention of really bringing it to market, getting the money on Kickstarter. And this isn't meant to be a Kickstarter doomsday call, but it's possible that they don't actually produce the product. Like they come up with a drone concept that can't be really be made, raise 100 grand and then just keep it because you're not guaranteed the product when you contribute either. So it's a bit of a challenge. I would hate to have to invest in somebody developing something that already existed. That would leave me with a very bad taste in my mouth.
Mm, mm. Well, at least it might seem new.
Tom is saying
Yeah.
he's funded Kickstarters that are expansions to existing products. That's
Hmm.
definitely different than what you're mentioning, though. Um, what is the typical pay for a lister? I pay $1 to describe an item and 50 cents to list it and $1 to photograph it. And if I paid for shipping, I would pay between 50 cents and $1. So around 350 if somebody did everything except for buying and shipping. Really, if you're going all out, like if you dropped it off at Chris's FBA center and we did it for you, we would charge you 350. Um, you had an eBay store and know how to find new products, price, and dropship. 3 years eBay experience. Nice. Um, yeah, the David Vu. I'm not friends with David Vu, but I've heard that that course is great. I'm also not anti course. I think that's silly. There's some people have information that's useful that's worth the money. David, thank you for the super chat. Do you guys have any questions for Beat the Bush that are related to early retirement, maybe saving money, best credit card to get? He is enjoying a semi-early retirement, and he
I'm
has
not
time.
sure. Yeah, I'm not sure how much of your audience know about
Yeah, I'm
my
not sure
my
if you guys
channel.
understand or have seen his channel before. Hammy Whammy, I'm actually exploring Amazon 2 months from now. So once I'm done with this eBay challenge, I'll be hitting the Amazon hard, and I don't know exactly what to pay for them. My guest definitely already makes YouTube videos. He has a much
Yeah,
larger channel than mine.
I have a channel. It's called Beat the Bush.
Beat the Bush. Check look it up afterwards. Which retirement account do you fund first?
Which retirement account? Wait,
Hmm.
second, third.
Hmm. Not sure on that question.
Well, first going one would be a Roth 401k if you're working.
Right.
Oh, actually, there's a certain order. I don't remember the exact order, but one of the first things that you should get is your matching, your 401k matching, because that's like 100% gain, right? You let's say 3% match, then you put in 3% and then you get 3%, right? So no matter what, you're getting 100% of money. Let's say it's $1,000 that you put in, they're gonna match $1,000. So no matter what, even if you need that $1,000, because there's a lot of people living paycheck to paycheck, right? Even if you need that $1,000, you can go back, withdraw it, pay the penalty, and you'll still be ahead. So always get the match, no matter, even if you need that money that for that same paycheck.
Wayne is saying he loves the way that you um
Yeah, expose
expose
loopholes.
the loopholes on credit card points. Yeah, that's very true. I
Yeah,
just posted Beat the Bush's channel in the description. And oh, what is
thanks.
your feeling on the Amazon credit card? Have you done any homework yet?
What was that? That was the build your credit one, I believe. Do you know
I'm
about
not
that?
familiar with
I
it.
took a quick look, but I didn't really. I'm not too sure if that is the exact card that everyone's talking about. But that's just a credit builder one where it's a
Secure.
secured card up to $1,000. I think 100 to $1,000. So um, it is what it is. If you need to build credit, go ahead. And
W-
then I think you can convert it to an unsecured card later on. So
What do you think
um,
of paying medical expenses out of pocket and reimbursing yourself through HSA later? Any thoughts?
reimbursing yourself through HSA later.
Invest in real estate.
Uh,
Yeah, agreed. What do you guys think in the chat? Do you
I'll
guys
have to
think
think about that one.
should you pay off a house early or should you never pay your house off if you have a low interest rate? I want to hear what you guys think.
Obviously, I went one way already. So like a lot of people actually don't agree with me on that point because I paid off my mortgage. I I think I counted like 7 years. I had it for 7 years. It was a 30-year mortgage. I paid it off early in 7 years. So what was the interest rate was really low, like 3.5%. And I still paid it off, but I don't regret it at all. It's gone, and it allows my burn rate to go extremely low. And it the main thing that you're buying here is less pressure on yourself, because then now I am not pressured to make a certain amount in order to pay the mortgage, because it used to be huge, which ties me to working a regular job. And once that's gone, or once I have the ability to pay it off, then I don't it's kind of like, hey, job, I don't need you anymore, bye.
Yeah, no,
and
I have the same opinion. I think you should
and
pay it off.
some people think, well, you shouldn't pay it off. You should kind of leverage it and buy more real estate instead. Maybe you can buy 5 houses and then rent them out and get positive cash flow. Yeah, you can do that. It's just, I think I can't tell everyone that, oh, you should do exactly what I did. Some people have higher risk tolerance. They want to, like, um, I guess, have money in limbo. That's what I would call it. Because if you have a mortgage, you have 5 mortgages, and you're renting them all out, you have a high expense rate. But yes, you have, a positive cash flow, but it also causes more stress. And for me, I just kind of like, I like less stress. So, that's what I do.
Hemi Whammy, he has. I think you have several videos on how to get the best credit card.
How often to apply for credit cards to increase your total credit limit? How often? Um, I did it in two different ways before. I generally recommend about 2 credit cards, because that is the time. This is like, you can allow your credit score to heal before you get a new one. But I did an experiment where I applied for like 10 credit cards to try to see how fast I can get it to go down. I was able to push it down like 30 points or something within the span of like a month or two. And yeah, 10 credit cards. But for typical people, I would recommend, if you only have like two, 3 credit cards, if you're trying to increase your credit limit, you don't want to apply it to so many of them that it causes your credit score to go down. But you want to keep on adding to your arsenal. And um, you don't want ones with annual fees, of course, because if you keep on, you don't want to increase your burn rate here, your expenses. Every single card is $100 a year. No, no way. Just find those credit cards that are no annual fee. Get those. And I have a video on how to keep them active too. That um, keeps your credit score high.
So
So
kind of the alternative that people are mentioning in the chat is you basically refinance your home to buy more properties, or you just keep putting, instead of paying off your mortgage, maybe use that money to buy a second or third home. Um, I understand that model, but I still want to pay off my primary residence first.
It's kind of like your home base. I feel you can have no home base and just kind of jump around, right? You don't have a solid foundation, and then you can jump around and make more money. But then if something happens, because things could happen, and then all of a sudden you're left with no home base, no home to live in. So to me, I feel like it's kind of like an initial investment that you must do to have a solid foundation. You could not have one, but it's just more dangerous.
Yeah, that's true. And there's definitely benefits in buying multifamily homes, or um, but again, this is not a real estate channel, but there's different ways of doing it, and I just think you should do both. You should use leverage maybe, but you should also pay off your home. I can see both. AG was asking, for a person in their early 20s with a criminal record, reselling probably maybe one of your best options. What I would do is look for cash paying jobs first. I know it's difficult to get a position with a criminal record, but you have to have something that pays your bills first so that your resale business can grow. And I can demonstrate that in my other store, the reselling field guide store. You guys can see it's stalled because of the lack of capital, and that's a realistic. That store, I don't want to spend more than $200 because I want you guys to see that it can be done with a limited amount of capital. But all the money that's in there, there's already $2,000 worth of stuff listed. I have to wait for some of that to sell first. So that's why I'm saying you need a form of cash flow to pay your bills, because this baby business sucks cash flow. Because if you make 20 and put it back in, you're kind of cash poor, but your store could be potentially $60 more in value, and you just keep putting it in, and you actually should never take the money out. I know that sounds odd, but not until you are getting the revenue that you want should you take any money out.
That's interesting. It sounds like you have multiple stores, multiple like separate accounts going on,
Hmm.
but as experiments. So
Yep.
you how many of those do you have going on at the same time?
So total, guys, I have 7,800 items listed on all different
Oh
platforms.
yeah.
But as we, but like for example, when I started Poshmark last year, you guys saw I tried to build Poshmark up to an income, just to see if it's possible to earn $1,000 a week net, and it is. That site is great. But I don't think you should rely on one platform. If you have an item, you should list it on Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp, eBay. Especially if you have limited capital, you need a faster turn. So I don't. So Dwayne, you're saying that eBay handcuffs new sellers. That's by design because there's a lot of fraud on eBay. So if you are a fraudulent seller or you don't know what you're doing, they don't want you to cause too much damage to their user base. So when you're starting, you have to slowly go. In this series, episode number 4, you guys should just listen to the script that I used to raise my limit. They raised it from 10 to 350. I didn't even want that big of a raise
I'm
because it
focused.
because it pisses people off that that happens. But like, I think it's just focusing on the mics. But yeah, um it raises your limit if you get somebody on the phone. Convert your store to a business account. That's not required. You don't need a business account, but I mean, like, it doesn't affect your taxes, but it allows you to, when you present yourself like a business, eBay is more willing to raise your limit.
Yeah, it's annoying. I had to go through that as well. It it
Yeah.
rose mine quite quickly though. I just list them. So just
Yeah.
go through the motions, and then they increased it pretty quickly.
It's good for you. And then the recent glitch is allowing people to list 2 billion items, as if that's possible.
No, no.
My new limit is 2 billion on my listings, and it's kind of like, what? Like, that's so funny.
I had to call them one time because I wanted to raise the listing number. They just wanted to talk for some reason, and they raised it.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, eBay has to do their due diligence, just like everything. I agree with that. Someone's asking if they had 2K play money, what would I do? I would get a job and not use that money at all. I mean, I would use it for inventory to plug in, but like that's not enough money to do. Like you're gonna $2,000 is just like 1 or 2 weeks of shopping and it's gone. So that's not that much.
That's just your inventory
That's
buying.
that's a tiny bit of your inventory. That's not enough to. That's someone just emailed me. I mean, this is obviously out there, but someone said I have 50 grand extra money. That's different to manage because you could go straight into making full-time money on eBay if you had that kind of capital. But 2 grand, you need another source of income first. Actually, I think somebody else recommended you should have 50 grand before you try to become a full-time reseller. I kind of agree with that because you need some savings. What if you have a dry run and you can't find anything? That's terrible.
You're talking about 50 grand in capital so that you can buy the
Inve-
thing
in,
inventory.
inventory
50K
capital.
in
Inventory
inventory.
capital. I don't disagree with that, but I think with 12 to 15, you could slowly learn. But I still think you should have a second stream of income. Um, Someone's asking me how they can car hack. So Beat the Bush got to see that too because we're in one of my rentals today. We didn't look at the other cars, but I would recommend 2 or 3 Priuses that are second generation, so '04 to '09, under 75,000 miles. You can get Camrys and Corollas. They both do just as well, but Priuses rent higher because of the fuel efficiency. And now, what was happening with me is there's a 200-mile limit, and I had to go check my car afterwards and see if they drove over the limit so I could penalize them and collect that fee. But now it automatically does it because there's a tracker in the car. So if they drive
Nice.
210 miles, they're going to be billed for that 10-mile overage without you doing anything.
How's your insurance on those cars? Are they just
It
normal amounts?
it's just normal insurance because I only pay for insurance when I'm driving it.
I see.
When they drive it, it's their insurance. Up to 1 million per person. That's a common question.
So do you is it lower because you don't drive those very often? You
It's
only
real.
you only
It's really low. It's only I think $18.
okay.
So because it's
Because
I
you're
the lowest you can put is 5,000 miles a year.
okay, so
So
you
I
put
put
okay, you only drive at 5,000.
yeah,
I
they
see.
drive 5,000
And it's
miles a
an
year.
older car too, so it's cheaper.
Older car. Um, Social Security is some people's source of income. Yeah, I see that. And I also see some people get vet pay, and that's their only source of income. But I don't want to rely on the government. I want to try to empower you guys to flip stuff. Um, Not having to deal with the bosses. That's true. My only boss is me. My Actually, this is very interesting because back to the like doing what you want to do, semi-retirement. My only boss is the artificial schedule I create for myself. So like what Beat the Bush when he was coming over to hang out with me today, I was sort of reluctant to like give him a time of day because I'm like he just does
You kind of knew.
he does his own thing. So I'm like maybe just show up when you feel like it and I'll accommodate you because I'm not fully semi-retired yet. So I wanted to make sure he's not under too much pressure to like go to a job of hanging out with me.
Ah, that's funny because yeah, that's today was the first time I set an alarm for myself in months.
Yeah,
So
see?
I'm like, but I'm gonna come meet you.
Let's see. Do I ever have somebody manage? No, I don't, because 3 cars is easy to manage, and my cars are almost always rented. Um, and my friend did the math. It's not worth it to have a full-time helper until you have 40 cars.
40.
It's a lot to have
Wow.
somebody full-time
Uh,
walk around and fix your cars. Um, let's see.
cool to see you here. Thank you, simply that
Dana.
Dana.
Yeah, that video was this morning, I think. Let's see.
Yeah, that's just today's. Thanks.
What would I do with 50 grand? Um, I would just save it. I don't have any other.
All these questions about if you have extra. This is I think what they meant. Okay, what they meant
I see. I
is
see.
if you
Only had.
no if if you're not using this, if you had money set aside for purchasing in inventory
Oh,
and
I
stuff,
see. I
they're
see.
asking you if you have this money and you really need to spend it on fun stuff,
Right?
like
Oh,
play.
play stuff.
Like, what would you use it on? Like, let's say it's in a form where you have to use it. You want a sweepstakes. You have to use it, or else
Mm.
it disappears, and you can't buy inventory for your eBay.
Okay, so if I couldn't invest
Right?
it or save it,
I
that's a good
think
question. So if you guys, besides avocado toast, you guys should put in the chat what you would spend 50 grand on. What would I spend 50 grand fun money on? Uh, Probably travel. I would travel. I would go on some more trips, visit some friends. I don't materialistic. I'm over it. I want less stuff. I'm over it. I'm not gonna buy
it's so
a nice car.
interesting that you're in like you're doing the same like I'm in the same area too where I'm like, oh, I don't want stuff.
It's so much
S-
work.
Yeah,
It's so much work.
keeping keeping all those things clean and dealing with it.
Okay, Elliot mentioned a pre-owned Porsche. Okay, if I wanted a car, a pre-owned 911, like maybe
That's a nice
it
car.
is a
Yeah.
nice car. It's maybe 30 grand for maybe a 5 to 7 year old one. You could drive it for a few years and it's still worth 20. That's like a lot of fun, and somebody else paid for most of the depreciation. So that's a good. Yeah, I like that because that was a very common midlife crisis car that we took in for trade at Lexus. Somebody would trade in their 911 for a LS, like
Mm-hmm.
a kind of a graduating from professional to old man.
I
Then
think
you
they
traded
those
in
new Porsches,
Porsches.
people like to call it. uh, and they depreciate. I think it's 20 to 30K a year once you roll it off the lot.
That's
Right?
horrible. That's horrible. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
horrible.
that's how
They're like
much roughly.
130 and then they're 30 4 years later, 5 years later.
Yeah. So they're
130 to
20.
30.
Yeah.
So they ate $100,000 of depreciation for you.
Well, some people like those Porsches new.
Um, keep your philosophy when you have kids. Yeah. We were just talking about Mr. Money Mustache. He tried to become financially independent before having kids. Maybe we're gonna try that. Yeah, and down payment on a fourplex. See, we're talking about fun things. That's more of an investment thing, and I agree on that. I like the idea of house hacking, buy a fourplex, maybe the other 3 units take care of your rent. Um, and if you did that and tried to pay off the fourplex, then that's safer too. You're trying to learn Mandarin. Yeah, I that's solid. That's smart. But I do think Cantonese is the coolest Chinese language. So I think it sounds awesome. So hopefully my kids will be able to keep that if my mother-in-law will take care of them and they'll speak Cantonese. So that's awesome. Um, you would fund a new business or buy a Tesla. You know what? We talked about this. I think you can rent a Tesla for $100. And if you really wanted, I like the idea of driving a Tesla, but I don't like the idea of owning one because of how much it costs.
Yeah, you might want to rent it for a while, a couple times to really test it out, see
Hmm.
if you really like it first before actually buying.
I don't want to park it and worry about people scratching it. I mean, here also, there's a lot of places that you can charge your car here. I still don't want it.
We're both pretty material goods adverse, it seems.
And also, we both had a lot of material stuff before. You've had a bunch of stuff. I've had a bunch of stuff before. I
And
prefer
still,
having not a lot of things. What's up, David? Awesome. Yeah, I think that I'm trying to give people some tools and ideas for reselling. If you guys are still watching this long after we started, please smash the like button. Toyota Tacoma is an awesome car.
you too fluent?
No, I only speak Mandarin.
我梗係識啦。
Looking forward to adding it to the automated fleet. Oh, nice. Musk say it will pay for itself and undercut Uber. I just mentioned I think that they're going to try to undercut Uber. I believe that.
Oh, yeah, that's a big move.
It's a
That's
big
like
move.
that's a big guess on there, but all right. They might have their own Tesla app.
Yeah, they will. Travel for a few months, new MacBook, pay rent for the year. This is something that I wanted to mention that's pretty interesting. The Ramit Sethi in the I Will Teach You to Be Rich thing was mentioning how he's like ruthlessly frugal in certain things and then other things that he really enjoys, he's willing to spend. So, for example, he has a Honda Accord and a 5-year-old computer, but like a $5,000 a year personal trainer, right? So some people would consider that expensive, but he's like worth it for because
Mm,
I value that part of it, but I
I
don't
feel
value
like
cars.
everybody has their own desires, what they like, what they value most.
Yeah.
And me listening to that, it might sound ridiculous, but I can see how someone, how they can appreciate something like that. Everyone likes something different.
And I
Yeah.
I think a lot of people mention health, right? They want health, they want wealth, they want good friends and family.
Hmm.
So like that's really what's important. And like I posted on my video like
And time,
in time, yeah, time is massive.
freedom of time, freedom, time wealth.
And that's something that's interesting because right now my day is almost exactly what I want to do. I wake up, I talk about reselling, I go resell, and I make a YouTube video, and then I'm done at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, and I spend time with my fiance. If I was independently wealthy, I would kind of do that, but also I have the option to not do any of that. I could wake up and not do any of those options, minus my mastermind call. I do have to do that. In fact, I was taking those when I visited Sweden earlier this year, and I like it so much. I don't want to give that part up, but the other parts of my day are optional. Without health, you can lose. Oh yeah, this is also cool too. The person that has their health like wants everything, and the person without their health only wants one thing. I think that's pretty enlightening. Punches you in the chi, like knowing that how important your health is. Like if you don't have that, you don't have anything. Your MacBook is 9 years old and time for a new one. Get a used
You're
MacBook Air. Oh, use what?
9 years old. Okay.
It might
So
be
yeah,
time.
so that's quite old. It depends actually on what you do with it.
Mm,
If it's not doing what you need it to do, then you need to upgrade. But a lot of times, if you're only doing spreadsheets and things, it's acceptable. Yeah.
yeah. Backpacking the California coast. Nice. Let's see. Yeah, yes, I can see. I think a personal trainer is worth it. Like I'm going training for the San Francisco half marathon right now, and they recommend you cross train, and I haven't been cross training, so I actually hired a trainer for 6 weeks, and that's it. So just hopefully I can use it to get in the habit. And this is very cool to me. My trainer is a 98-pound girl, and she
Mm.
can lift
Mm.
more than me. So I think
Oh
that,
my
I
goodness.
think that's so awesome because I'm a pretty big guy, and she's like I saw
She's
her.
like only muscles then.
she's like a powerlifting champion, and I just think it's very funny that
Zero fat.
she's zero fat, but
Uh,
she's gonna. I'll post it on my Instagram. You guys, I'll be like, I'll show myself struggling to lift it, and she's gonna come by and do it with one hand. um, you see it, stay-at-home moms broadcast. You should. Are you talking about hustle at home mom? Um, Hustle at home mom is cool. Ashley is a friend of mine. If you're talking about her, she is extremely sincere. She's been building her business for a long time. She works very, very, very hard. Ashley visited me like a couple of months ago. Ashley and I are both from Utah. So we both went to the same college. We're the same age, went to school together, and I never saw her in 4 years at school. So it's a little bit odd that we both ended up with reseller channels on YouTube. But yeah, she's a really good friend of mine, and she's very down to earth. She's got 2 kids, and she works her butt off. She did 280,000 in sales her first 3 years. That's amazing. And raising 2 boys, it's almost 100K a year in only like 10, 12 hours a week of work. A lot of FBA. We did a conference in Kansas City, and Ashley was able to come speak. So it's incredible. What do you do? What do you do with slow sales? It depends on Usually, slow sales is caused by not listing very often or listing the wrong items. So, what I would do is slowly adjust your items. If you have 100, I would adjust 4 a day. Then, after a month, you've adjusted all of them. I do 4% a day adjustments.
I would say adjusting stuff, it's not fun either. Kind of like listing.
No, it's not fun.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I've decided not really to do. Today, I sold a saddle for $86, and I thought that was awesome. So that's like the the glory of reselling to me is selling some weird object like that. Like I'm trying to sell BART tickets right now that they give out for free, like when there's a delay. And I was like, what do you, I asked the guy, what do you do with the tickets if you can't give them all out? And he's like, you want them? And he gave me 100. And then he went back to the station because they just give it out when there are
What's
delays.
the value on each one?
The value is, it's 700 or there's, it's $7.80 is what each one is worth. So I got 100 of them. So we put it on eBay for $50 trying to get something from it. And it's hard because you can only use them Saturday and Sunday. And yeah, we're going to try and flip them, but that's just being creative.
Dividend
Oh,
investor
I'll put
or
it in the chat.
growth investor? Ah, yes, I do a little bit of speculation. I try not to. Mostly is in well, I have a lot of it in cash right now, and when I do invest a small portion of it, it's for speculative trades, and I'm moving a lot of it into low cost ETFs from between cash and low cost ETFs. So index investor basically.
Do you feel like the money you use for speculation should be money that you're okay with losing?
Um, I don't want to lose it, but
Right.
you should be okay with it
Yeah.
because it even that whole amount that's in my investments, I can completely lose, and then my life would still be the same. I wouldn't be like, oh no, I
Mm.
cannot buy dinner. Oh no, I cannot pay my insurance or like all that burn rate and stuff. It's still being paid for. So that's the important part of investing. I feel like you can lose it because then that allows you to not not sell when it's low. Like there's a whole psychological thing to that.
This is This is also why I recommend not having such a small amount to resell because you'll be desperate for cash flow and you'll sell something without letting it sell marinate in the system and sell
Marinate.
for the right amount. So Jennifer's asking how I avoid using best offer. So here's an example on the 20 I sold a $20 bill today for $26. The guy offered 26. I declined 26 and I lowered the price to $26 and I have immediate payment. So the person had to pay because I didn't allow best offer after I lowered the price. So that's how I avoid best offer because I don't like accounts receivable because on eBay they have the option of not paying if you accept their offer and it's super annoying to me. So I'm like so because it takes it off the market if they agree to buy it but don't pay. So I don't want that. And plus when I lower the price, there's a little bit of sense of urgency because now everyone that's looking at the item sees that lower price.
That's a
So
way to get around it.
it
Yeah.
it encourages them to buy right away instead of
hmm
waiting.
you can't require immediate payment with a best offer.
Not on eBay.
Okay.
It's the only website that you can't
What's with
require
that?
immediate. So do I have tickets for tomorrow's Warriors game? No, I stopped watching them because of Kevin Durant because it was super boring. But now that he's injured, knock on wood, I hope he gets better soon. But the games are exciting now. But no, I'm not going. Um, you're going to be repping an artist on Etsy. I haven't tried that yet, but I like Etsy a lot because I like the idea of making your own products. Let's see, Wayne. Great question. After $26, how much is left after fees and shipping? Negative 74 cents. So of the items I've sold so far, that was the only one that lost money because I didn't do the math. Because okay, go ahead.
losing losing like less than $1, it's kind of funny sometimes. I feel like it's a sort of entertainment. Even you should do it sometimes.
Don't
No.
lose money. Don't copy that part.
I thought it's kind of fun. Like you sell a whole bunch of items, and sometimes you lose a little bit. You shouldn't try to do it, right?
You
But
shouldn't
but
try to
it's
do it.
a
No.
very good learning experience, I feel.
So we're
You know,
looking for old money, guys. So this is the dollar bills, right? You're right, Wayne. I should stick to the $100 bills. And I was just testing it because like I'm trying to figure out what's so valuable about old currency. So today we went to the bank and I asked, "Do you guys have any old currency?" And she said, "I only have a $10 bill, but it's not crunchy." That's what the lady said. Because people are looking for crisp old money, and this is not crunchy. This is
floppy.
floppy. So it's not the right kind of old money because she already knew that as a banker because
So you
people
learn something just from
I learned something just from
getting
asking.
getting yeah.
So I didn't know, and that terminology is probably something that people who collect money call it.
When you list it on eBay, you should say crispy.
Crispy.
If
Yeah.
uh
If it is crisp.
if it
But
is crisp, you say it's crispy on the title.
it's on the title. So yeah, I'm experimenting with currency because here's the thing. Let's say I can't sell this, it's still worth $10.
You
So
just spend it,
you can just spend it exactly. So
buy food.
you could buy, yeah, don't spend it. Doesn't the
That's good.
government buy it back guaranteed? Yeah, the government will always buy the money back. I think it's still currency.
Yeah. Well, you don't need the government to buy it back. Anyone would buy it back.
That's true. You can use it to buy food also. Have you ever ironed money? It gets crispy. Oh, I didn't know that.
Look, you learned something else. Go iron it.
I've never ironed it
Because
before.
it's made out of cotton, right? How many percent cotton?
Oh, that's true. Best offer, you use auto decline. Yeah, that's a good way to do it. Yeah, you can't burn. Isn't that illegal? You can't burn currency. You can't burn the
You
U.S.
can't
flag.
destroy.
Oh, government property.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Duncan sells old letterhead. Um.
Trying to make this bigger.
Oh, can it be bigger?
Or no. About chat.
Oh, here we go.
A little
Sorry,
bit
it's
bigger.
easy. It's a little easier to read. Um. Oh, that's true. If you bring a ripped bill, I think if it's over 60% of it or something, they will give you a new bill. Get it soaking wet, then iron it. Oh, interesting. What type of letterhead? Yeah. Duncan is in the Discord group. If you guys want to join that, he'll go over his process in there. But he basically sells old letterhead, stamps, postcards. That stuff's really valuable. A lot of people collect it.
Thanks, Riken. Profit.
Raken, what's up?
Raken. Sorry.
Oh, he loves your channel. Yeah, Mary, you are right. People do buy it for the lucky numbers too. So if you find the right dollar bill with the right number, somebody will pay money for it. I'm gonna try to sell this $10 bill for $20. And this time I'm not gonna misfactor the shipping cost. I know there needs to be at least a $7 margin
This
to
is
make
just mind blowing to me that someone would pay $20 for $10.
somebody just
I
paid 26 for 20. But
yeah.
remember, 27 is the break-even point.
You want to so you're looking to make like $3.
Yeah, please ask any questions. Yeah, Raken is awesome. He's the one that, and congrats, Raken, if you're listening on 100K subscribers. Great job. Um, Someone's saying thank you for the $1,000 week challenge. Yes, awesome. Um, so guys, back to the breakdown. $250 listed 4 times a week is the 1,000 goal. So Bob is already at listing 125 profit a day. Now that's just listing. You have to actualize it, but if you do the right job buying the item, you'll be right there. Yeah, Raken's a great motivational speaker, and people were saying I was copying him because I was making a video in my car. I was just making a video in my car because I was lazy, not because I was copying Steve Raken. He doesn't own the copyright on doing a video in your car, also. So for whoever is out there, he's not mad at me. We're cool. We're friends. Why was shipping so much? Exactly. That's why I lost money. It was
Oh,
$3.09 to ship it.
oh, because you wanted
Tracking.
confirmation
Yeah.
tracking and stuff,
Yeah. It
and
was yeah.
$3 some for shipping, $3 for eBay, or
Two,
two
two, two,
something.
260 for eBay and $3.09 for shipping. So that's why I lost money. I lost 74 cents. Oh, 7777 is good. Interesting. Maybe they'll pay $70 for this $10 bill. Let me see. Oh, well, there's only two sevens. That's pretty weak. Nice. So, somebody sold a Tesla Polo for $25. That's amazing. There's a lot of Tesla fan people,
I
fanboys and
actually
fangirls.
wanted to buy a company shirt from a certain company
Yep,
just to poke fun at my, because one of my friends worked there, so it's like a novelty item, right? If you don't work there, you want to get it and
it is.
just
People
wear it.
want to rep it.
Yeah.
Um,
I think Tesla has these jump suits or something for the factory line
yep.
workers. Yeah.
Yeah, so I did that because X Savagery. I sold a $20 bill for $26. I actually not only did I lose 74 cents, but I'm the one that accepted the offer of $26 by lowering it. And this person, I'm sure the person is a currency collector, and I'm sure they think they know that I lost money on it because they've probably done the math on it before.
I don't think unless they're a seller, they probably don't know. They
May,
probably don't know that it costs that much in shipping and eBay fees, right?
Maybe. I guess I didn't look at the person's
'Cause
feedback, but I'm totally okay with yeah, X Savagery's asked about star bills. I'm familiar with them. I haven't found one yet, but I've only asked
Star,
at the
what is
bank
that?
if there's a star on the number, it's worth more.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Um,
Um,
Please do a video about accounting. That's like episode number 2 or 3. I go over exactly what I'm doing. Also, I'm not a CPA, so take that information to an actual CPA and ask them. And I use 1-800 accountant. So I would call them and get free tax advice for your first call. I'm not an affiliate. I should be, but um, take advantage of that free call with them. Then get a real CPA.
hmm.
eBay found sent me a return label. Why is eBay refunding money when I haven't even gotten it back yet? eBay is hard to work with returns. I actually don't know how to solve that. It's a nightmare. We actually picked up my returns today. We had a whole bucket of them. So that was from probably
Were
a,
they all?
a week or so of returns
Mhm.
that we picked up today. And I don't know how heavy it was, but that's probably 6, 7 returns. Um,
You got your pillow.
oh, yeah, I
Okay.
got the pillow. Wait, someone mentioned that?
No, that's just me.
Oh, oh, the
I
pillow.
saw
Yeah,
I
we're
saw your
working. Like,
pillow.
I just barely got merch, guys. So you guys
Oh,
remember
look here.
Loki Husky? I just put that in the description. This is my e-commerce pet. So he's taking packages to the post office. Just trying it out. I don't know what you guys think of it. Uh, I know, right? Video Game Source says this is the content he's looking for. How to turn 20 into 19.
Look. Here's something I would assume. That is the first time you lost money selling a bill, right?
Yes,
And that's the last time probably,
that's right. First and last
right?
time. That's true.
So that's a pretty low cost for a lesson, I think.
Yeah, there's t-shirts below. It's cool. Also, you guys know my trusty accomplice James is thrifting for me, and he thinks it's annoying when we go thrifting and people come and talk to me. So he didn't want to be on any of my YouTube videos because he's like, I don't want people to recognize me when I'm out hunting for stuff. So I'm thinking of putting his face on the video just for on a t-shirt for fun, so that so that everyone can recognize him to destroy his market share. But I was just
Like,
poking fun.
there you are again.
What do I think about jewelry on eBay? So, guys, I just bought my, I don't know what it's called. What is the equivalent of a ring for a guy called? Wedding band?
Sure.
Um, so I went to that shop because it's in the wholesale district in San Francisco. Wholesale jewelry is fantastic. Loose diamonds is great. Engagement rings is great because there's so few people that sell that stuff. You just need to know what you're doing. And if you can get GIA certified or certified diamonds, it's better. reputable. The more reputable your store, the easier it is. A friendship ring. It's probably not called a friendship ring for marriage, but close. It's a ring pop.
Wedding
I
band?
bought a wedding ring pop. Yeah, I just put the T-shirt in the description below. As of today, it just popped in there. So I'm experimenting with Teespring, and I had this designed because I like this guy, and he's taking my packages to the post office. I sold some video game sources. Hilarious. I know. I am the right channel if you're trying to turn 20 into 19. Buy high, sell low. The best ring I ever got was my girlfriend. That was an actual bubblegum machine ring. Nice. That's actually more utility use than an actual ring. You can use it for bubblegum.
What does that mean?
I think it's
It's a ring from a bubblegum machine. So it's a plastic ring?
oh.
Or were you thinking
I was
like
thinking actual bubblegum. That you could eat it. No, they pick up out here, but my cartoon dog takes them to the post office for me. Returns make you sad. Yeah, returns are part of this. If returns make you sad, you need to change your attitude because.
But look at all the profit you made from like 20, 50 other sales
Exactly.
around it, right?
Exactly. Click and ship. Yeah, they can come pick. You guys can, if you guys don't know, you guys can call the post office and schedule when to come to your place. I have 2 or 3 day handling, so I can have them come every other day and then not have to go to the post office. I just go to the post office because it's on the way home and it's a nice hard stop to the day.
It looks more like a fox.
I know.
Like
it does look like a fox, but I was trying to, it's because
is it because of the whiskers like on the outside, I think. Because I don't know.
it does kind of look like a fox. Does it look like a fox or a husky? You guys should put in the chat. Is this look like a fox or a husky? I was going for husky.
Well, now that you say it's kind of like a fox, it kind of does look like a fox, but I'm okay with the fox.
The ears, it looks like both husky. Why is husky blocked by YouTube?
Because it's spelled wrong.
Oh, it's spelled
HS Suki.
wolf. Oh, wolf. Looks like a wolf.
I think it is whatever you call it. If you say it's a husky,
Looks like a returns teach me where I go wrong. Husky, kitty cat. It does not look like a cat. Does it?
No, not a cat. Can it be a cat?
Returns teach me where I go wrong. Agreed. Returns can be a learning experience. Meow.
Yeah.
I don't think it looks like a cat, but it's a fox. Wait.
You can leave it ambiguous and
okay, I'll leave it ambiguous. Looks like a cartoon husky. Yeah, that's what I was going for. Oh, kitty ears. Yeah, that's true. Maybe. Well, it's cartoon. What's up with the meow comments?
Meow.
Is that some kind of a?
It's like a thing.
It's a thing. Have you guys heard about what is that called? Furries? If you guys are into furries, smash the like button. If you don't know what that is, also smash the like button. They have FurCon in San Jose. I don't ask me how I know.
How do you bring up the original window?
I think
you just close it.
Oh. Let's see. Pounce. All right, guys, we're going to hop off. Thanks so much for hanging out. If you guys have any questions for Beat the Bush, put them in the comment section below and I'll get them to them later. We are local to each other. We had FUD today. And for all those that were asking, good.
That was very good. It's like the best pho place around. Yeah.
And for you guys asking who paid for the bill, we split it. Because I don't know why that's such a common thing.
That's going to be a question.
But smash the like button, and then where can everybody find you?
YouTube.com/beatthebush.
Awesome.
BeatThebush.
So subscribe right now to Beat the Bush, and I'll see you guys next time.
Bye bye.